Good afternoon, everyone. Please be seated. On behalf of the University of Strathclyde, I would like to welcome you to the Barony Hall for this congregation for the conferment of degrees. This is a day of celebration for you, our graduates, your families, your friends, and the staff of the university. These events are sometimes known as commencement ceremonies, as a signal that they mark a beginning rather than the end. And it's in that spirit that we celebrate graduations at Strathclyde. In a few moments, it will be my privilege to cap each graduand. The capping ceremony has ancient roots as a public rite of passage and a mark of achievement. For each of our graduands, it's a sign they are part of a proud tradition of world-changing scholars at Strathclyde, stretching back to the Scottish Enlightenment. I hope you enjoy the ceremony. I now declare this congregation open and invite Professor Sue Ellis to introduce our honorary graduate, Deborah Gliori.
My Lord and Chancellor, I have the honour to present to you Deborah Gliori. Debbie Gliori is one of Scotland's leading author-illustrators and has published over 80 books for children and young adults. Her award-winning work addresses deep questions that matter to us all. Her books are widely translated and her work is celebrated across the world. She's done book tours in many countries and most recently returned from a book tour of India. She's deeply committed to working with children, with schools and teachers in Scotland, including Strathclyde student teachers. Debbie Gliori was born in Glasgow and ran away from home at the age of 15, living a complicated life, becoming a parent and enrolling at university to study design and illustration. On graduating, she won an Andrew Grant Scholarship, working freelance in Milan before writing a picture book series for Walker Books. She says that writing and illustrating books is the only thing she knows how to do, that she was the world's worst waitress and positively dangerous when working in a garage. Her most recent book, Night Shift, speaks to all ages. It's a hugely personal, visually magnificent, and emotionally brave book, and describes in words and pictures the experience of living with depression. It is, however, a book of hope. The dragon that represents depression is ultimately replaced by the seabirds of Scotland flying high and free. With integrity, honesty, and openness, Strathclyde values, Debbie Gliori shows any of her readers who struggle with similar illnesses and have similar night journeys that they are not alone. It's the kind of book that makes all sorts of essential conversations possible. It's not surprising that Debbie Gliori has been awarded the Red House Children's Book Award for picture books. She's been shortlisted for the Kate Greenaway Medal 3 times, the Sainsbury's Baby Book Award, the Royal Mail Award, and the Scottish Arts Council Award. Debbie Gliori's books, for younger readers, generate equally important conversations. In one book for very young children, a parent explains the unconditional love that she has for her child. And the child asks, "What about when we're dead and gone? Can love go on?" And the parent holds the child close and says, "Look at the stars, how they shine and glow. But some of those stars died a long time ago. Still they shine in the evening skies. Love, like starlight, never dies." That's something that every child needs to know. As a children's author, Debbie Gliori tackles big topics because, as every parent can tell you, big topics are exactly what small children think about. Debbie's message is that such discussions, rooted in practical, real-life experiences and questions, drive us forward. This speaks to the deepest heart of Strathclyde's mission as a technological university. Whether you're an engineer, a lawyer, a historian, or a teacher, whether you're 5, 25, or 55, Whether you're in school, in university, or in work, talking about your experience, making sense of it, is what drives you on. Although Debbie Gliori ran away from Glasgow, she has, through her books, continued to live in many, many Glasgow homes and families. She's continued to live in Glasgow lives. It's with great pleasure, therefore, my Lord and Chancellor, that, with the authority of Senate, I ask you to confer upon Deborah Gliori the degree of Doctor of Letters, honoris causa.
Doctor of the University, honoris causa. Welcome to Strathclyde.
Thank you. Bear with me. I need eyes. I was warned by a friend who was also created an honorary doctorate. She said, bring tissues, whatever you do, you'll need them. She was right. Good afternoon. I am so delighted to be here today. My special thanks are due to Professor Sue Ellis for nominating me, to the Chancellor, Lord Smith, and the university staff for welcoming me, and to all my fellow graduates and members of the congregation for sharing this, their special day, with me. I'd like to thank my late mother, Josephine, for filling my early years with books and stories. I'm also grateful to every parent who gives their time, as she did, reading stories with their children and thus sowing the seeds of the love of books. My small contribution to the world of Scottish literature couldn't have been possible without the love and support of my family here with me today. In truth, my partner Michael and my children have inspired every word I've written. All my love and thanks go to them. So I'm humbled and honoured and grateful to be here today. Honoured and, to be perfectly honest, somewhat terrified, because writing books for children means I'm familiar with the kind of literary criticism you might overhear being yelled across a playground, not spoken in a seminar room. And small children can be the most brutal critics. We writers are encouraged to kill our darlings and thus ruthlessly excise pointless prose. But I can say with authority that a bored child yawning in the face of one's carefully edited and polished creation can do the job with breathtaking facility. And yet, as Mark Twain said, the two most important days in your life are the day you are born and the day you find out why. I've been lucky enough to have experienced such epiphanies in the company of child readers, moments when I've realised that books can truly save a life. With every book I write, I'm aiming for a connection with an unknown small person. A small person I'll probably never meet face to face, but I hope that something I've made, a character, a phrase or an idea, will resonate with them in some way, to allow that child to find themselves reflected, validated, or understood within the pages of a book, and thus discover that they are not alone. In short, I hope that's what I'm doing. But when many years ago, like my fellow graduates here today, I stood clutching my parchment scroll, poised on the threshold of real life, I had no idea how woefully unprepared I was, or how many recipes for lentils would be necessary. I give you my first post-graduation meeting with a London publisher by way of example. At 6:30 a.m., fresh off the overnight mail train from Scotland, I walked from King's Cross across London, hauling an A1 portfolio of original illustrations. A portfolio so vast, not only would it not fit into the revolving door of the publisher's office, it was so ridiculously heavy and unmanageable that I kept on having to take rest breaks to give my arms time to recover. I arrived half an hour before my appointment, sleep-deprived and too nervous to have eaten breakfast. I gave my name to the lacquered receptionist and promptly fainted, portfolio and me flat out on the floor. Sometime later, over a cup of tea, the publisher pointed out that illustrators were 10 a penny, but what she was really looking for was writers. I took that advice to heart and recalibrated my approach. I flapped and flailed, but never again fainted, in and out of publishers' offices from Edinburgh to London, making mistakes, embarrassing myself, and learning as I went. We lived on a shoestring, raised a family, made even more mistakes, and turned all of it, the glorious, messy chaos of it all, into a life among books. The decades between then and now have taught me that those years of intensive study, culminating with my name beautifully written on a parchment scroll, were the beginning of my education, not the end. Let me phrase this differently. As some of the best fables for children, the main character, that's us, today's graduates, is given or discovers 3 gifts. With these gifts comes the power to change themselves, their surroundings, their fortunes, or sometimes even choose to return to life as it was before the 3 gifts made their appearance. Except you cannot turn the clock back, just as the 3rd gift cannot erase the memory of what went before. We too have been given 3 gifts. The first, the gift of literacy, is a piece of great good fortune. By happy accident, we were born into a land and a tribe that value literacy. With this first gift and a great deal of hard work on your own part, and never forgetting the support and encouragement from your families and loved ones, you were able to unlock the full potential of the second gift. That is, your time at this university. With this second gift, you were able to immerse yourself in study without having to fully engage with the distractions and clamour of the world beyond the university walls. You were given the space to grow. And grow you did. Look how far you've come already. Imagine how much further you could go. Because now it's the time for the 3rd gift. And this is a gift for you to give, not to receive. The 3rd gift is the contribution you will make to the world beyond these walls. That you're here today is proof of your abilities. It's also evidence of your future potential. As I said before, this is the beginning of your education, not the end. Your time at this university has made you too bright and too engaged to sink into blinkered complacency. As Confucius said, no mirror reverts to stone. Those stories in which the 3rd gift is squandered on a wish to return to what went before always seem to be such a waste of all that limitless possibility. So I ask you to use your 2 gifts wisely. Remain wide awake, ravenously curious, and passionately engaged. The world, especially the world today, needs your contribution. And anyone who thinks that their contribution is too small to make a difference has never passed a night in a tent with a midge. In conclusion, endeavour to apply the same academic rigour to your future life as you've applied to the acquisition of your degrees. Assume nothing, question everything, seize every day, and most importantly, be kind to one another. Thank you.
My Lord and Chancellor, in the name of the University and by the authority of Senate, I present to you these students. For the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, for research in English, Jacqueline Ryder. For research in law, Mohanad Hamad Ahmed Ahmed. Hassan M.M.A.M. Al-Rashid. Fern Rebecca Louise Gillen. For the degree of Master of Letters in Media and Communication, Andrew Draffin. Laura Piera Maria Homburger. Courtney Lee Johnson. Lauren McMahon. Rachel Jane O'Rourke. James Sharp. Kenneth Norman Watt. Shinan Yang. In Literature, Culture, and Place, Charlene Karlinski. Christine Elila Malau. Natalie Morrison. In Digital Journalism, Waleed Shaloub A. Al-Shaloub. Michaela Barton. Natalie Grant Bellow. Callum McDonald. Martha Awano Otieno. Amanda Finlayson Park. For the degree of Master of Science in Business Translation and Interpreting, Pauline Lucienne Colette Combe. Rachel Marie Cunningham. Katie Herr. Meng Zhu Wang. Kimberly Roden Williams. In International Relations, Law and Security, Daniel Hansen. In Politics, James Thompson McPherson. In Public Policy, Laura Rostowski Riley. Robert Lachlan Stevens. Kei Shin Yao. Andrew Gilmore Young. In international relations, Elsa Manarenkunda. Mario Maconi. Rayana Naimi. Ratana Tanya Ratchapalan Pugdi Visasi. Silyi Skoivang. In European politics, Christopher Alan George Gibbs. For the degree of Master of Laws, in construction law, Hashim Moid Ali Ahmed Al-Batene. Rosmiati Binti Arbi. Lee Donald Coulter. In Internet Law and Policy, Marianne Blanche Marie-Louise Rode. In Information Technology and Telecommunications Law, Donna Maria Bagali. In Human Rights Law, Brian Dan Migaway. In International Law and Sustainable Development, Andrew Walters. In Mediation and Conflict Resolution, Sobia Hanif Kidd. In Employment and Labor Law Studies, Mark Ian Pollitt. In Law and Finance, Stephanie Nika. In International Commercial Law, Nutcha Kamalwat. Konstantinos Lamonis. Jordan Renee Sean. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts in History and Politics and International Relations, Scott Hendry. In Human Resource Management and Spanish, Neda Sitsinia. In Politics and International Relations, William Grattan Macaulay. Alex Carroll Malone. In Politics and International Relations with Psychology, Lauren Reed. In Humanities and Social Sciences, Celeste Hamilton McShane. For the degree of Bachelor of Laws, Tracy Ann Carmichael. Ross McQuillan Johnson. Lauren Gardner. Saeed Jamil Khan. Stuart Andrew McFarlane. Ross Taylor. In Scots and English law, Sinead Margaret Jackson. William Peter McGuigan. Megan Ruth McPhee. Laura Jane Kelly. Beatrice Kwaisi. Frances Ellen Wilton Taylor. For the postgraduate diploma in digital journalism, Catherine Alice Sheridan. In professional legal practice, Gareth Bell Cairns. Anika Bhatti. Carolyn Bowie. Amy Boyce. Eleanor Clark. Charlotte Ann Coburn. Rachel Gillen. Ashley Caney. Gemma Lee. Jennifer Hannah Lilly. Lauren Ann McGee. Jennifer McNichol. Michelle Audrey Mooney. Lucy Elizabeth Muir. Amrit Singh Power. Natasha Pitt. Rebecca Florence Riley. Carrie Rutherford. Suzanne Jane Smith. Claire Louise Varecchia. Emma Danielle Wheelhouse. Cassandra Wright.
I'm just waiting. It takes a little while to get right back round here again. Ladies and gentlemen, colleagues, but most of all, our graduates. It's a real pleasure to welcome you here to Barony Hall, one of the jewels in Strathclyde's crown. And I'd like to begin my address today by congratulating our graduates once again on their academic achievements. Your hard work has paid off and it's been recognised in front of your families, friends, and the staff who taught and supported you during your time here. And we know just how much work you've had to put in to be here today. You can all feel justifiably proud. The great American athlete Jesse Owens once said, "We all have dreams, but in order to make dreams come into reality, it takes an awful lot of determination, dedication, self-discipline, and effort." And all of you here today have displayed determination, dedication, self-discipline, and effort. All of you have taken a huge step toward realizing your dreams. And today, in these magnificent surroundings, we celebrate your achievements. Well done. In just a few minutes' time, you'll be asked to join the academic procession as it makes its way down the aisle. This invitation symbolises the fact you're no longer students, you're full members of the academic community of Strathclyde. And that's an important moment for you all. The class of 2018 is graduating at a time of considerable global change in Scotland, in the UK, and internationally. There's no question that challenges lie ahead for all of us. But as a member of the Strathclyde family, you belong to a large and ever-growing worldwide community with a shared ethos of tolerance and understanding and a desire to make a positive difference. Whatever dreams you're pursuing in life, remember you possess the most valuable assets you can have in today's world: knowledge, the ability to innovate, and the capacity to use your talents for the good of society. And as graduates of a socially progressive university, you have a competitive advantage, having been equipped with the skills, the know-how, and life experiences to positively influence and shape the world around you. You know, in Scotland, we're fortunate in having a higher education system which is the envy of the world. Our country rightly invests in education for all. Education broadens the mind. It creates opportunities for individuals and for societies. And as Strathclyders, we carry a sense of duty to use what we've learned wisely and for the good of others. That desire to make a positive impact in the world comes naturally to graduates of this university. We've only to look at the achievements of those who've gone before us for inspiration. To John Anderson, our founder, who established this university for the good of mankind. To George Birkbeck, who introduced free classes on mechanics for Glasgow's tradesmen. To the world's first oilman, James Paraffin Young. To the missionary and explorer, David Livingstone. As you heard, John Logie Baird and Lord Reith, whose work in television brought us visual marvels that you could hardly have dreamt of, and nor could they. In the present day, we look to Dame Elish Angiolini, a pioneer in Scottish justice as the country's first female Solicitor General and later first female Lord Advocate. And to Sir Tom Hunter, one of the most successful entrepreneurs in Scottish history and a philanthropist who's used his wealth to the great benefit of others. Now, I'm sure you will have received lots of advice on how to make the best of your lives. Some you will rightly ignore. Not the advice that was given to you earlier by our honorary doctorate, however. She was absolutely spot on. And you know, some will stick with you, but most you're going to have to learn for yourself. Robert Louis Stevenson put it well when he said, "Don't judge each day by the harvest you reap, but by the seeds that you plant." To reach this point in your lives today, each of you will have traveled a different journey. For some, the path may have been relatively easy. For others, much more difficult. But I'm certain of one thing. None of you would be here today without the active support of your family and friends. They've picked you up when you've been down, they've encouraged you when you needed it, and they're here to support you once again, proudly watching as you cross the stage with broad smiles, and I notice the odd tear in the eye. They're celebrating today not just because you're almost off the payroll, but that could be, but because you carry with you their hopes and dreams, their confidence that you can make this a better world. For the past half hour or so, their applause has rung in your ears. I'd like now to invite our graduates to show their appreciation for the support of their family and friends. Now, we will actively keep in touch with you through our alumni and communication teams, and I would ask you too, please keep in touch with us. We want to hear about your achievements as you progress through your lives and careers, and we look forward to hearing from you again. The advice and guidance given by our alumni helped to provide the first-class education and student experience you all had at Strathclyde. I now ask that you think of those who follow in your footsteps. I touched earlier on some of the key figures who helped create the University of Strathclyde. You can tell a lot by the values of an organisation by looking at its roots, and Strathclyde traces its lineage back to 1796, when Anderson brought it into being. It was the only Scottish university founded during the Enlightenment and embodying Enlightenment principles of reason, tolerance, and equality. Anderson believed, as you heard earlier, in useful learning, and his commitment to taking knowledge and using it for the greater good is the motivating force which gives Strathclyde its momentum today. It could be seen in our business school, which was named Business School of the Year in the prestigious UK-wide Times Higher Education Awards in 2016. It could be seen in our Advanced Forming Research Centre, which sets new standards in design and manufacturing, and which has more than doubled in size to meet industry demand. It could be seen in our £89 million Technology and Innovation Centre, which is transforming the way academics collaborate with business, industry, and the public sector to bring global competitive advantage to Scotland. TIC, as it's fondly known, is a tangible sign of the university's commitment to world-class research and ensuring outcomes that are of maximum benefit to society and to the economy. And these represent a small sample of the many innovative projects and initiatives led by our world-class academic and professional services colleagues who are taking new knowledge and using it to solve problems in industry, in the classroom, and in boardrooms. I'm especially pleased we're developing our campus to enable us to do even more. Our business school's flagship building has been transformed with a £23.2 million investment. Work's underway on a £60 million teaching and learning hub, and our new £31 million Strathclyde Sport Building will be open for the new semester. All in all, we're investing £650 million in our estate over a decade. Now, so too has it been a year to celebrate for the faculty. Professor Sir John Curtis from Government and Public Policy was knighted in the 2018 New Year Honours List. He also received the Lord Deering Lifetime Achievement Award in the 2017 Times Higher Education Awards. Strathclyde Law Clinic was joint winner of the Public Service Award in Northwest Glasgow Community Champions Awards. And literacy attainment among Renfrewshire and Clackmannanshire primary schools has risen significantly through a partnership between teachers and Strathclyde researchers led by our own Professor Sue Ellis, who joins us on the stage. The project led to increased standardised age test attainment scores at every stage from P1 to P7. The rise occurred in boys and girls alike and in children both from high poverty and more advantaged backgrounds. Dr. Elsa Richardson from Humanities was chosen as one of the BBC and Arts Humanities Research Council's 10 New Generation Thinkers for 2018, and Strathclyde Law School has joined forces with the Faculty of Advocates to create a mini Divilling programme which will give students a chance to learn about life as an advocate. That's why our graduates are so highly prized. by companies looking to recruit the best talent to drive their businesses forward. That's why world-class companies such as Rolls-Royce, GSK and Boeing are investing in Strathclyde. That's why we are leading research in energy, health, manufacturing and technology. Our success is in no small part due to the collective talent, effort and commitment of our staff, the 3,200 colleagues who are pulling together to deliver one vision, a leading international technological university. Like me, they are very proud of your achievements. I know that the class of 2018 will demonstrate the power of useful learning. I know that you will make your dreams a reality, and I know you will make a difference to the world in which we all live. Thank you. I now declare closed this congregation for the conferment of degrees. I would like to invite our graduates to join the academic procession. I assume it's not lashing rain outside. It is. It's dry. This is Glasgow. So I'd like to invite our graduates to join the academic procession, and then would family and friends please stay behind until the procession has left the building. Then join us in the Lord Todd building, which is just up here, for refreshments. Please be upstanding.